Good morning. I've just had some more news from Scotland from a colleague of mine down there regarding another scathing article in the this time it's in the Herald, the Sunday Herald, regarding Prestwick Airport, stating it's time to pull the plug. Yeah, let me read the article to you. Well, I'll tell you what, I won't read it because it's very basic, but I'll basically tell you what it says. It's been written by somebody who's named themselves as Pinstripe. He's a senior financial executive who lives in Scotland. So he's making a scathing report on Prestwick. He starts off by saying he drove past the airport the other day and there was no aeroplanes on the tarmac whatsoever, and it saddens him as he's always felt close with Prestwick Airport. I mean, he then goes on to talk about, you know, basically that politicians come and go, but basically lie. And the Scottish government, when they talk about the airport, they say, as I know they say, that, you know, the airport has an appointed executive management that are totally 100% responsible for the airport and its financial welfare and profitability, and therefore, as if to say they keep well back from it, which we know they don't, of course. They are very involved in it. He then goes on to talk about the accounts. He's obviously an accountant because he talks the accounts quite accurately. And he looking at the results that are on record up to March, I think 2017. He talks about the 8 million that's been lost in the year and the 30 million that's been given to Prestwick Airport in the year by us, the taxpayers, in keeping it afloat. But he also goes on to talk about the legitimacy of the plans, that the plans might look good on paper and accountants may approve them when they look at them, because obviously if they add up, they obviously make sense. But the question is not so much about do business plans add up. It's more about, are they realistic in what they're looking for? Are they realistic in terms of what their ambitions are in the plans to actually achieve certain things? And that's what he's criticising as being a failure. You know, people who write these plans don't deliver. You know, so it's all very well saying, well, the plans are good, legitimate plans. They add up well. It's fine if they add up, but if at the end of the day management are not making its targets, then the plans are worthless. And clearly, up to now, the plans have been worthless. So, you know, I don't understand why people haven't been fired at a fast rate and gone in there and sorted it out big time, because it's people making excuses continually. You know, the spaceport, it's clear, isn't going to happen there. There's a place in southern England which looks like it's going to be nominated, and obviously the place up in the north of Scotland for the vertical liftoff satellite stuff. And it's so no, there's nothing ever hitting the headlines about positive response to the airport at all. Now that was in the Sunday Herald, and it was sent up to me by Willie MacArthur. I also think, for a fact, you know, the airport up in Inverness, which is Highlands and Islands Airport, is also financed by the Scottish government, and from what I understand, it's also losing a fair amount of money every year, again through mismanagement and clearly not doing what it needs to do. In fact, Scotland have got a serious problem with transport generally. I think they just don't understand it. The people in government have got a very, very poor quality of understanding when it comes to what's required in moving people and products around in Scotland. They just don't understand it. That's obvious. It's obvious, and it's been obvious to me now for a couple of years. And a good colleague of mine, Willie MacArthur, has been making this point to me for years. No one seems to be taking note of the warning signs. So, yeah, no surprises. Just another very negative newspaper article from someone who clearly knows what he's talking about, who's got to say it. And yeah, it's so scathing and it's so obvious. And if the Scottish government, Transport Scotland, just realistically got their acts together, forget about politics, start thinking about your country, start thinking about making things work properly, then this thing can be sorted out. You know, it's as simple as that. I feel foolish because I spent a year helping them with a proposal, which I think went into their file 13, because no one seems to know where it is now. And I'm damn sure I'm not going to give another one. And, you know, to be going up there and back every 5 minutes to talk to people who wouldn't have meetings for the sake of having meetings is really a waste of time. So here we are in this modern world, in this modern country of ours, and we still have absolute, well, I don't know what to say, other than idiots managing our lives like this. Okay, talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.